the most missing children. Italy, 21,951 missing children each year. South Korea, 25,692 missing children each year. Russia, 45,000 missing children each year. Canada, 45,288 missing children each year. India, 96,000 missing children each year. Germany, 100,000 missing children each year. United Kingdom, 112,835 missing children each year. United States, 460,000 missing children each year, with 2,300 children going missing every day.
The Luciferians cast a spell on the world. And,
for real?
Oh, absolutely. It's just like how vampires can't go into a house unless they're invited. They tell you, what's going on ahead of time. It's predictive programming. And once you say it out loud and you put it out there and make fun of it and do a little skit, like Stephen Colbert did a little skit on his show where, oh, here's a baby. I'm going to take this baby and I'm going to give it to Moloch. And he goes into like a cloudy red, furnace and hands the baby over and the baby's going to be fine. And they make a joke about it and the audience laughs. Okay, we're all now conditioned to it. We've all seen it. And by laughing at it, we were complicit.
You think that's on purpose, that this is like some sort of a grand design to get us to be desensitized to the idea of demons eating babies?
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
For sure. And by the way,
but
nobody's doing anything about it. We know what's happening.
But that has to take, there has to be a person or some group of people.
Yeah, like about 8,500 people. Yeah.
That are manipulating the Colbert Show?
They're manipulating everything. It's all an illusion. Like, reality as we know it is fake. That's the revelation that guy is having.
Well, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak. Double honors to my apostles, the bishops, the elders, great millstone who taught me this truth. Look at this picture here. Actually, before this picture, I was recording a few videos. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Hopefully I can get some more videos. But it says the globalist shadow government span of control. Now everybody's wondering why they're not going to do anything about the Epstein. Okay, because everybody's desensitized. Like people aren't, like a lot of people don't even know who Epstein is. You know what I'm saying? Like only the people who are paying attention to the news. A lot of people don't know what the hell is going on. They're just trying to make it. They're just trying to live life. And this whole system is owned by the wicked elites. All right, they don't want you to get too much about the Epstein stuff. They just give you just enough because they're really controlling all these companies. They control all this whole world. The small hats, so-called ish people. All right, all these brands. That's why they can poison you. Mind control, putting enchantments on you through commercials and movies and things like that. You hear the Rothschilds, right? BlackRock, OpenAI, Larry Fink, BlackRock. And Epstein's connected with all these people, man. All right. Epstein's connected with all these people. And here goes, these people are pretty much, shadow government. The wicked elites that we speak about all the time in the scriptures. All right, that are being exposed right now. Everybody has the information. World Economic Forum, look at that. All right, so they control everything: the mainstream media, social media, search engines, censorship industry, World Economic Forum, professional journals and studies, NGOs, charities, religions, government regulatory agencies pertaining to healthcare and public health, food, drugs, energy, emergency. These devils control everything: research and development, bioweapons, transhumanism and eugenics, genetics, nanotech and wireless body-brain network, advanced weapons, satellite, total grid control. All right, digital currency and blockchain, social credit score, digital ID, surveillance, artificial intelligence, robotics. They control everything. NGOs, charities, healthcare, social engineering through mind control, social media, bioweapons, robbery and blackmail. So they get away with everything. Operations, that's what they do. Human trafficking ops. All right. Military industrial complex. It's all connected, man. And Epstein was involved in all this. That's why the Prime Bondi said, if we were to expose all these names, then the whole system would crash, because it'll lead you to the Rothschilds, man. And guess what? They're not going to let you do that, because they're the ones controlling the news, the media, and even X. Like everybody who said something on X, like they got everybody on list, man. This is a fucking CIA operation. Facebook, X, all these things like that. If you ever said anything, all right, they're gonna come and get you. They're not gonna forget. All right, the law doesn't, so-called law of the land. No, that don't matter no more. All right. They control the security, advanced battle management systems, Space Force, Star Shield, Space Fence, national militaries, national security agencies, FBI, CIA, Mossad, military contractors, local police, NATO, UN, blue helmets. That's who's gonna be picking you up, putting you. It says mercenaries, supply chains. They do everything, all right? They own everything. This is Psalms 140, verse 1 in the KJV. And it says, a psalm of David, right? Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. And that's what we praying every single day. Who's the evil man? Esau, Edom, so-called white man that's running this whole show, man. The scriptures tell you the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right, that's Esau, Edom, so-called white man. All right, and he's proven that he's the wicked of the earth by this latest thing with the Epstein files. All right, with Pam Bondi up there deflecting, doing everything she can to not tell. Then you got Trump on the internet right now talking about Pam Bondi did a great job. All right, and we're talking about little children here. So this is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. All right, which imagine mischiefs. It says, let me read it one more time. Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. All right. If you just do a simple Google, it'll tell you out of the 250 years America's been a country. All right. It's been at war 90% of the time. It's been a country. It's been at war 90% of the time. It's been a country, man. They're continually gathered together for war. Why? Because it funds their operations. It funds it funds everything, their expansion of their new world order. All right. And all of it plays its part. Human trafficking, that has to do with everything, with the military industrial complex, with these underground tunnels, all types of stuff, man. It says they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Yeah, talking about their policy, their legislation, the things that they allow, and then they go in there and revise it, and then change things up and to the way they want it to really be. It says they have sharpened their tongue like a serpent. Adder's poison is up under their lips. Salah. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man, who have purposed to overthrow my goings. Who have purposed to overthrow your goings, man. They're dealing in human trafficking. All right, they put all types of snares in the food, in the water. The air is being constantly poisoned. All right, people are constantly sick. All right, walking around stopped up all day, every day. It's just gray outside for the last year straight. Ain't seen too many sunny days. All right, this is showing you who's ruling the earth. It says, "Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man, who have purposed to overthrow my goings." And I just showed you that picture of, all those companies which are owned by those so-called small hats. All right, those ish people over there that call themselves Jews and are not. All right, they've purposed to overthrow our goings, man. All right, Esau, Edom, the wicked elites. All right, these private equity firms own everything. All right, that's where your rent, your mortgage, and things going up. You can't afford nothing. Everything's going up around you, but your rate of pay is not going up. All right, everybody's in sorrow. All right, they said over 45,000 people committed. They unalived themselves in January alone, man. 2026. All right, it says, "The proud have hid a snare for me in cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me." Salah. Yeah, they've set traps. I read it in the NLT. It says, "The proud have set trap to catch me." And through their food, through their, they set up these situations where they taking these kids, all right, putting them into human trafficking. It says, they have stretched out a net. They have placed traps along the way. That's right. And that's what they do, man. And it's a huge enchantment.
He's like, it's like invasion of the body snatchers.
Well, see, the thing about the emails is, one of the things is it's just stuff written down. And so that's sort of hard to digest. Like, what is this? Like, what are they saying? Like, some of it is in code, like walking over beef jerky. Like talking about jerky, could you walk beef jerky over to this person? Like, what does that mean?
For all this pizza they're talking about,
Right.
You never see any pizza.
Right. Yeah. They're ordering
I'm gonna get some grape soda. It's like with my cheese pizza.
Yeah.
And like, there's all this coded language, and everyone's like, oh, that's you just have pareola. You're just seeing things where you want to see them.
No, there's clearly a code. Well, that was the thing about Pizzagate.
It's absolutely a code, and in fact, mundus vult decepi, ergo decipiatur. It's a long-known concept. And so in Latin, mundus vult decepi means the world wants to be deceived. Ergo decipiatur, therefore it is. We want to be deceived. We don't want to believe the horrors that are actually behind the veil.
Well, I think with the Epstein files, people...
You hear what he said? Yeah, people want to be deceived. They like staying in that darkness, man. They like staying in that darkness. They like not knowing, all right? Because then, they would have to recognize that, like they've been living a lie. It also reminds me of the scripture, which speaks about in the book of John, right? John, they like staying in the dark because they don't want to come into the light, pretty much. It says John chapter 3 and 19, this is the condemnation that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. A lot of people are just same thing with the truth. The Lord cut them off. Ain't nobody trying to hear nothing about Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They don't want to come into the light. All right, same thing with these with these people in the world that they don't know, they don't give a crap. They like being in that dark state, like that, everything gonna be okay, but everything not okay. You force them in front of a TV and watch the news for 5 seconds, or you try to tell them something about an article or anything like. They don't want to hear about that. It makes them uncomfortable. because they're pretty much in the dark and they're okay with being asleep. All right, they're okay with just being asleep, man. It says, "For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved." I guess you can use this. I don't know. I mean, you get the point pretty much. Matter of fact, let me play another. Let me play another video real quick. I got another one.
Or
Let me see. Let's see. Hey, listen with yeah, check this one out real quick.
How is that legal? How many files are there?
There's 300 megabits is what Kash Patel said, the FBI director, and they've released one so far megabits. So it's like they've released less than 1%.
How is that legal? Isn't it illegal what they're doing?
Well, it's illegal. It's obstruction of justice. A new president could prosecute them for what they're doing. They realize this, and that's why Pam Bondi has now said to the judge, okay, we have millions more documents we need to release. We need more time. And so...
Why do they need time? It's a fucking digital file. Why do you need time?
So they've got actually 2/3 of the Southern District of New York attorneys working on this, apparently.
Working on what?
On redactions. Look, they need to look for some redactions, which is the survivors. But you know what? They've released some files with the survivors' names, but not the people who abused the survivors' names. So they're claiming that they've got to get the survivors' names out. Fine.
They're legitimate. They are legitimately, proactively protecting pedophiles.
They are protecting pedophiles at this point.
By redacting the abusers' names. The White House, listen up, everybody. The fucking White House is protecting pedophiles. You hear that? They're fucking protecting pedophiles. That's what the fuck they're doing.
And they're doing it because these people are rich?
Yeah, man, check it out, because that's exactly what they're doing. And the prophet's been telling you this whole time, man, that you're dealing with some wicked, evil, satanic people, man. All right? Esau is a devil, man. The Bible speaks. This is Psalms chapter 10, verses 1. And it reads in the KJV. It says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." It says, "The wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesses the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth." Let me read it in the NLT, see how that sounds. It says, "O Lord, why do you stand so far away? Why do you hide when I am in trouble?" So he wanted the Lord to show thyself, right? Show thyself, Lord. How long, O Lord, Spirit? You know what I'm saying? All right, because we've seen enough of wickedness in this earth, man. We've seen all types of wickedness. There's all types of evil, wicked things going on around us. All right, it says, "The wicked arrogantly hunt down the poor." Right? They arrogantly hunt. They hunt the poor. All right? They set traps and snares in the neighborhood. All right? Catching little children. Hell, they probably shipping them over on them containers at the ports. All types of stuff, man. Souls of men. The scriptures talk about, like the pastor went into it the other day. Soda, Joel chapter 3, right? Sold a boy for a harlot. And a girl for to make themselves drunk. Matter of fact, let me read that real quick and I'll come back. This is what be going on in the earth, man. Yeah, this is Joel 3 and 3. "And they have cast lot for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they may drink." That's talking about, pretty much going into pretty much slavery, because that's what basically human trafficking is. Like, you taking slaves, children and little girls and boys, man. All right. You can go into some of these, Revelations. That's the one. That's the one. And there's another one too. But yeah. Revelations 18. Yeah, because that's talking about the destruction of this place, man. Right? It says, verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. It's talking about the destruction of Babylon, aka America. All right, this place is about to be destroyed, man. Verse 5, Revelations 18 and 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities, man. Yeah, so the Lord ain't going to forget about nothing. See, these devils, man, they get away with murder. But let me go down here to where I was wanting to go. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep over her and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Because America pretty much is just a consumer nation, pretty much. There's boats go in and out, ships go in and out of this place. America just buys everything. All right. That's why Trump did all those tariffs or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Thinking it's going to help, but it's actually destroying this place. Okay? And it's ultimately the Lord destroying it. Ain't no tariff destroying this place. No, the mighty hand of the Lord is over America and judging her for her sins, man. It says, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet. And that also reminds me of Ezekiel 28 when it goes into the Prince of Tyre. All right, it's talking about their traffic. By thy traffic thou hast gotten thee riches. With thy wisdom and thy knowledge that thou hast gotten thee riches into thy kingdom. Pretty much talking about this place, America, man. Let me go to it. I'm just jumping everywhere. Just to prove it real quick. Ezekiel 28 and 2, it says, Son of man, say unto the Prince of Tyre, thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up. Yeah, these devils is real proud, man. Just look at Trump. He's a proud man, all right? Neither keepeth at home. These devils went into Venezuela and stole their president. All right? Killed a bunch of people. All right? They just, these devils just go over and commit genocide on, a whole Gaza, a whole people. All right? Tell Greenland that we're gonna take Greenland. All right, we're going to come and take Mexico and Cuba too. Okay? It says, Son of man, it says, thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, and sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. Yeah, you got Noah Harari and Charles Schwab and, all these rich, wicked elites. This AI system they're trying to bring in, put microchips in people. They're trying to play God. Bring dead ancestors back to talk to you through AI. Like they're literally trying to build, a Tower of Babel, pretty much. They're literally trying to, come on some kind of level to where they possess the soul. All right, they can possess your spirit somehow. When they put that chip into you. All right, which going back to 2 Thessalonians. All right, when they speak about who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. All right, when he's talking about he sitteth in the temple of God. That's basically you are the temple of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So if he able to put his technology inside of you, he's sitting in your temple. Automatically you cut off from the Lord, man. All right, this is a proud man. This is what he thinks that he can do this. He thinks that he's going to get away with it too. All right, he knows you're not going to do anything about the Epstein files. He knows that you're totally desensitized. He knows you ain't going to go out in the streets. You don't want to do nothing. All right, they done poisoned you through everything, then got you sitting around like a fat rat. You ain't going to be ready for nothing in this world, man. The things that are coming up on this earth, you're not going to be ready for them. Yeah, it says, Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches into. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. Right. And it says, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic, all right, hast thou increased thy riches. Yeah, that's talking about by the trade. By the trade, right? So America's the most wealthiest country on the earth, all right, because of its trade, because of nations come here and they pretty much human trafficking, they buying all types of stuff. Going back to Revelations, we were just there. All right, especially souls of men. All right. Let me go back. Revelations 18, or verse 13. And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beast and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. Yeah. And slaves, man. It says, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. Because, this place lives in pleasure every single day. It's just constant pleasure. All right. But the Lord's going to get this place real uncomfortable, man. All right. Which is happening these days. It says, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. Yep. And it goes along, yeah, going into everybody being, they're going to be crying because this place is going to be gone. Yeah, so going back to my original scripture, let's play more of this video real quick, Slucky. So you're not going to get away.
Because they were donors, because they're powerful politicians. And look, I don't want to stoke baseless allegations, but it's clear to me that there's been some connections to foreign governments.
Which foreign governments?
There's Israel. Connections of certainly in the files to Israel. We need to know what those connections are. There have been questions and connections to Russia and the Russian oligarchs. We need to know what that information is. And from survivors' lawyers, they're saying there are other national security agencies involved. I mean, think about it. How does Epstein, as a school teacher, end up with $500 million?
That's a great question.
He didn't invent AI. He's not like those founders who come to you doing some tech company. He's there and he's getting money from all these people. And he's got this ring of sex trafficking going on where he's farming out girls to different people. And he's having these parties on Epstein's rape island. Like, how is this not the biggest scandal that you got these rich, powerful people in our society who think they get to play by their own set of rules? You know what upsets me, what pisses me off is people like you go and take all this risk with your life in Iraq, in Afghanistan. The guys who, whatever you think of Venezuela, the guys who took the risk of their lives with that, they have this honor to the country, sacrifice for our values. And you got rich and powerful people who think they've made a bunch of money who can exploit American girls or girls who are girls of immigrants and have no consequence and get away with it.
And get away with it. That's the biggest thing. They're getting away with it. But they won't get away. They won't get away overall. The Lord's going to destroy this place. The Lord is going to destroy this place. I wanted to go back to the scripture that I had. I can't remember where I was at. Did I finish this one? Yeah, see, this is why they think they can get away. It says Psalm 73 and 3. It says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. All right, because they get away with everything. It says there's no bands in their debt, but their strength is firm. Yeah, these wicked elites, all right, they're good. They do good at controlling everything. Your banking systems, hell, the criminal justice system. All right. Therefore, the law is slack. Right. This whole system is controlled by the wicked elites. The social media, the media, everything. All right, so they control what gets out. That's a clear indication of who's really in charge. Whenever you see the Pam Bondi lady the other day, all right, and she was clearly telling you who's in charge, man. All right, she was clearly showing you and letting you know that they're wicked and evil, that they protect evil, they protect devil, they protect demons, man. All right, they're all for they're all for protecting satanic pedophiles, man. All right, that mess with little children. It says for there is no bands in their debt, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men. Yeah, see, you can't get them to tell you about the names. You know, it says what? They are not in trouble as other men. Yeah, because they control the criminal justice system. Neither are they plagued like other men. Yeah, they're not worried about nothing. You heard Pam Bondi talking about, the Dow is up and all this other bull crap. Nobody cares about that. That's how you know you're a damn Edomite. All right, because out here in the real streets, in this gutter, like everybody's struggling. Talking about people's 401ks and all this other stuff, jobs report and all this other bull crap. No, ain't nobody gonna be retired with you pieces of crap, man. All right. You know, I see old ladies still working at Walmart, man. I'm like, why ain't they just chilling? They probably want to work, probably, but it's too many old ladies and old men working, and I keep seeing them everywhere, driving around. They're just everywhere, going back to work. See, the whole system is through, man. That's why we just need the Lord to just take this place out and bring in a new system, a new heaven, a new earth, the kingdom of heaven. All right, where we can have some rest finally, man. It says they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. No, they're not ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. It says, therefore pride compasses them about as a chain, and violence covereth them as a garment. Yeah, you say something about something, you end up missing. And let's not forget all the people in Congress be going over to that Wailing Wall over there and kissing that and stuff like that. Bowing down, man. It says their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. Yeah, they run the world. It says they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. Yeah, Pam Bondi wouldn't even turn around and say sorry to those girls. All right. You know, they know where the gangsters at. They know where the drug dealers are and all these things like that. But you can't give us the names of people who've been doing bad things to little children. You see? It says they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. It says they set their mouth against the heavens and their tongue walketh through the earth. Yeah, through their policy. All right, they set their mouths against the heavens. All right, they're against the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Therefore his people return hither, and the waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. Yeah, they get a drink. It says, and they say, how doeth God know? And is their knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. It's talking about Esau Edom, so-called white man. All right, the ungodly. All right, all this Epstein stuff, you know, letting you know that they worship the devil, man.
It's the most un-American, selfish.
Let's go to. Yeah.
Why? And what do we get out of it?
Who do you think we're occupied by?
AIPAC. We send $18 billion a year to Israel. Why? And what do we get out of it?
Nothing.
We get nothing. Are we doing humanitarian work? No, they're charged with genocide. They're killing off Palestinians. Are we helping them survive? Well, they've got a higher standard of living than we do, a longer lifespan than we do, free education, free housing, free health care, but we're sending them money. Why? Ask yourself why a U.S. congressman can wear an Israeli military uniform in congressional chambers. I would think that would be an act of treason. Ask why the Israeli prime minister can bypass the president, fly directly in and speak to our Congress without any other government interaction. Our Congress gave Netanyahu, a foreign prime minister, 26 standing ovations. I have difficulty looking at that any other way than we're occupied. Statistically speaking, we have shown that whoever spends the more money on an election wins 94% of the time. Whoever spent the most wins. We can also show that every time somebody spoke out against Israel or AIPAC, the next election, their challenger was highly funded and wins. The facts are all there. All you have to do is look at them. Whenever we try to talk about it, you get told, well, that's anti-Semitic. No, it's not. Calling things the way they are is not anti-Semitic.
You have documents, emails that connect Epstein to Putin, but he's also connected to the CIA, he's also connected to Mossad, to Trump, connected into the AI oligarchy, to endless other world leaders. You look at Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister. His Svengali is Tony Blair. Tony Blair is owned by Larry Ellison, who funds him, the biggest private funder of the IDF, who was appointed US ambassador by Starmer, was a very close associate of Epstein. This same guy was the Svengali again of Tony Blair, who was the spin doctor that brought him to power as prime minister. But Epstein was just one guy. They're all connected in the end. There's an area of Judaism called Chabad Lubavitch that connects into Putin, to Zelensky, to Trump, to Lutnick, to Jared Kushner, to Netanyahu. There are these networks which connect people that in the public arena are unconnected.
Stuff, you may as well give up. If nothing happens over this Epstein stuff, you may as well give up on politics. If the fact that we now have confirmation that what the conspiracy theorists have been saying for years is true, that Pizzagate is real, and that there's no such thing as left and right, there's no such thing as a sovereign nation, there's just ultra-wealthy people exploiting the poor to the point where they can get little girls and do whatever they want to them on an island, and all the evidence of it can exist. And instead of there being any repercussion at all, it's going to be discussed a little bit by a few people on Twitter, and they're going to continue doing exactly as they did before. If nothing happens over this Epstein stuff, if there's no mass raids, mass arrests, mass public trials, you may as well just give up on politics. May as well just give up. The system is so rotten, it's never going to be fixed. Even transparent.
Yeah, it's not going to be fixed. It's not going to be fixed at all. All right, this place is through, man. You know, obviously Epstein is like the damn Black Pope or something, you know. He had his hands in everything, all right? And he leads straight to the Rothschilds, you know. He can lead you straight there. And they're controlling everything, man. They control this whole damn world, all right? They're controlling the wars that are going on right now. They're controlling everything. And now you're seeing that the prophet's been telling you what it is about this man, that he's the devil the Bible speaks of. No, well now you know, and it took the rich man to let you know. All right, because when the poor man speaks, ain't nobody listening. But when the rich man speak, all right, they extol it to the clouds. So, hey, shalom.